Hello, everybody. It has been a whopping 2 weeks since we last saw you all in the chat, you lovely, lovely hype train conductors. Thank you so much for the subscriptions. Special shout out to our graduating adventurers, Miss Mindykins, for 12 months. You know what you can do in 12 months? That's like level 1 to 20 already. I think. Maybe not. Maybe like level 1 to 8? Depending on the game. But who knows? But what's most important is that you're here with us hanging out on another lovely Tuesday night. And we are back with the Shards of Anarion. For those of you joining for the first time, my name is Graham, or Graham Crackers, and I will be your DM tonight. And I am joined by a fantastic cast of stellar people and stellar role players who, though they need no introduction, I will demand that they do it anyways. I am, thinking that we're going to switch things up today. So I would like to know 3 things. Who they are, who they're playing, and what was their last dream like. What was their last dream? So without further ado.
Hello, I'm Trok. I play Garok, the Lizard Folk Death Cleric. And his last dream was feasting on bones. Just lots and lots of bones. Getting all the marrow out and just sucking it. Yum, delicious. Ever so neat. And off to you, Elle.
Thanks, Truck. That wasn't creepy at all. I'm Elle, and I play Kira, the Druid Wizard, Tortle. And her last dream was about seeing her sibling and being reunited with them. Even though when they actually got reunited with them, they were dead. And since you didn't specify, Elle's last dream was an erotic dream about the person who's going next, Derek Sword.
What a coincidence, Elle. Hi, everybody. I'm Derek Sword. I am playing Verban, the Exile, the Knoll Ranger. And Verban's last dream was him running just across this van, just all fours, full pace, trying to catch some sort of large mammal that he was going to tackle down and tear apart with his claws. But to everyone else, it was very cute because he's just kind of pawing in his sleep. Yeah. And I'll hand it off to the dwarf with the wharf, Brodus.
Yeah, if you didn't know, Brodus now owns a wharf. I am Fox. I play Brodus. Brodus does not dream anymore. He does not sleep anymore.
So what was his last dream then?
Ooh, his last dream was probably before they left. And it was about some of the horrible dark death that he saw through the door. So yeah, that would be his last dream, and then since then hasn't slept. So and I'll pass it off to Sinra.
Hey guys, I'm Farrell. I will be playing Sindra Starmain, a Leonin Paladin, Oath of the Crown, Warlock, Pact of the Undying. And her last dream is of a face that she hasn't seen for some time, but keeps haunting it of late, ever since that creepy nameless one person told her that they are alive again somewhere in the world, but she has been unable to go and find them since there's dragons afoot and duty calls. And speaking of duty, it is here to find you. Off to you, Vinny.
I thought you were just going to say, speaking of duty, it's Vinny's turn.
I
was really hoping. Hello, I'm Vinny, and I like duties. I'm playing Zadar. He's a Dragonborn and a rogue, and his last stream that he had, when he was dreaming about the last time he was in a campaign, in the Plain of Bones. It was particularly hot, dry summer, and there was a caravan that he was part of, and it was just, man, they had been out in the desert for like a really long time. Well, not desert, the plains, but it's basically desert. They've been out there for a really long time. It was really hot. Normally Zadar is not super aggressive, but like in this dream, there was like a big traffic jam with the caravan. Like somebody broke a wheel or something up ahead, and somebody got angry about it. And Zed normally lets that sort of shit go, but like he'd been so hot for so long, he was like so thirsty and shit. That he started getting really mad too, and he was getting ready to shoot lightning at somebody out of his face, and then he felt something on his head, and he looked up, and it began to rain. There was like these thick like rainforest raindrops just started raining, and everybody just stopped being mad and was just staring at the sky, because like this doesn't happen. It's a dry season, right? Like how could this be happening right now? And then he just felt so happy, and then he woke up, and had been crying in his sleep. And I'm done.
My heart! Alright. Well, as per every week, I give my players a chance to save me the time to do a recap. Would anyone like to do it this week?
I'm feeling inspired. Let's do this. Okay. So we are going to fight a dragon or something like that. Kill a dragon. Yes. We, of course, met Kier, and she is very fervent about going to murder this dragon. So we said, okay, give us a day. That day was very busy. We got stuff in things. We did things. I put Ning's hat in a place of honor in Thunder Jugs, a fun and family restaurant. Sinra was very thoughtful to get us magic items, so we have acquired several things, armor and weapons, and even a staff of healing, which hopefully will come into handy. Zadar acquired some mercenaries, which hopefully will serve as a fodder for the dragon to deter its attacks from us. Very thoughtful on his part. But we could tell that we needed to get a move on. And a move on we got, and we took to the road. There were several strange occurrences, including a strange pink cupcake in the middle of the road that, oh no, it's a pit. Garok got out just fine. We also met a sphinx, who I thought was very lovely, and she had some riddles, and I had riddles for her, but she did not like them as much. I think we are friends, but I am not sure. She has given us passage through a dark tunnel, which she has assured us is faster, potentially safer than our previous route, and we are going to find out. So into the dark tunnel we go.
Wonderful, Derek. Take your 1d6 to add to whatever roll you so please.
It's a fun little rising sun in my D&D Beyond sheet. It's so lovely.
All right, let's get our nice music going. Yeah, this is more what we need. So, the group of your band, comprised of the 6 mercenaries, the 6 of you, and the map maker, Thomari Shadowbuckle, begin to descend into the tunnels through the mountain. The scent of mold and dirt and lichen and rot fills your nostrils with every step. The ground below you is worn, hewed stone that at one point seems to have been a walkway or a bit of a street, if you will, that the ages have sheared almost all of the master craft of stonework that has been done. You head deeper into the mountain. There is very little to see besides the 2 stone walls on either side of you and the looming roof of stone above you. Every now and then you see a desiccated torch lying in a torch holder, long since snuffed out. The passageway opens up at about what you would best attribute to about 2 hours into your travel. Coming to a right and going straight. To the right, there is a room filled with the remains of tables and chairs. A unused fireplace rests on the far side. A dilapidated and rotten and moldered bookcase on the other. And this chandelier of dwarven make hangs over the rosed roof that's been cut in the groove of the rock, made of this gold, almost bronze-ish gold, with dwarven runes carved along each of the arms of the chandelier itself, falling into these almost witch-light candles that glow with this blue hum of flickering dwemmers and magical energies that are barely managing to sustain themselves. The path further on, if you so wish to take it, is more of the same from what you can see in the distance of the darkness.
Not gonna lie, Kier doesn't stop. She just keeps going.
And if I recall, it was close to nighttime? I believe?
Yes.
Yes.
It was like late afternoon. when
Late
we met
afternoon,
up with the
yeah.
Sphinx.
Yeah, so like 4 or 5 o'clock. And you've been traveling about 2 hours, hour and a half-ish. So 6. Okay. So, Kier, you don't stop. Does everyone continue going with Kier, or...
I would like to pop a divine sense in this area.
Okay. How far does Divine Sense reach?
I believe it's 60 feet.
60 feet. And that is-
Celestial, fiend, and undead.
Celestial Fiend.
And good or evil, hallow, unhallowed.
Okay. The ground itself is unhallowed.
Oh,
I will say this. The entire 60-foot radius is unhallowed. Roll me... I'll give you either Religion or Arcana, your choice, on how you interpret it.
They're equivalent for me, so let's pick religion.
Alright. Inspiration or crit?
No.
Alright.
That's gonna be an 18.
18. So from what you have witnessed in regards to this dragon, and in regards to the stories you have read, as well as the permanence of this maelstrom that has been growing and expanding over the mountain range itself, you get the sense there are 2 options. This is either the dragon's... within the dragon's sphere of influence of its lair, and it has been desecrated, or it has something to do with the maelstrom. But if there were any gods here that had any sway, they have long since fled, and their energies no longer reach this dark part of Anarion.
She'll look over the ground and, for a moment, like, her brow contorts and her lip kind of raises in a snarl, but after a bit of consideration, she seems to decide not to share anything, because what would that matter?
Graham,
Yes.
Brodus, knowing that these stories diverged, we went inside the Sphinx's tunnel. The story in my book is outside the Sphinx's tunnel.
Correct.
But I have continued reading. And I can surely roll for it.
Yeah.
Is there anything that I could gather that would, I guess, benefit us in what might be to come, of as far as like feelings in the air or sounds,
Okay.
those sorts of clues?
All right. I'll make you a deal. If you want to sacrifice 3 crits, I will give you 3 answers, truthful, that have to be phrased as yes/no questions that you can glean. Or you can make an Arcana roll or investigation roll and see what happens.
I'm gonna make a roll because I need to save those to actually do anything.
If anyone else wants to trade crits, I'll burn you all down eventually.
Crits are only for
Oh.
your face, Graham.
Oh, just one crit on investigation.
Okay. What's the total?
24.
24. All right. So, you begin poring over through the later pages. I'm assuming you're reading and walking,
Yes.
which is fine. You begin to scour over this book, poring over pages that are hastily scribbled in your own handwriting. They are rushed. You recognize the drop of extravagance that you would write for when you are writing to Lady Withershins. This is something that is, you had 5 minutes to report back, and you get the sense you did not know if you were going to live or die when writing this. In the pages to come, the book itself is missing 2 pages that have been ripped out. It does not look like it was ripped out by you. These look like scratch marks. The next page. Night has fallen. We cannot hide in the mountains. They control the skies. I keep hearing their voices with every step. I don't know if anyone will read this. But if you do, be careful, be wary, and if I survive, I will surely know a better way to fight these. There is a long gap where it is just rushed writings, and it's almost nonsensical. Like, you are in such a panic and your emotions are so frayed and distraught that none of it seems to add up. However, the last bit that you are able to kind of skim today with the dim light is, we found the entrance. It is guarded by what looks like a dragon, but it's not what it seems. It's not what it seems.
Okay. And once again, I'm only entrusting my information that I gather to Sinra, because right now she would better know what would be good to share and what would not be good to share.
So, are you trying to get, because you are all in this long corridor, kind of all spread out, you can definitely find a moment to fall back and, walk beside Senra. It's about 10 feet, 12 feet wide of a hallway. Very narrow, but very walkable. You can go shoulder to shoulder. Are you trying to be stealthy about this? Or is it more of just a secluded conversation?
It's more secluded. So essentially what I'm trying to get over to her, because she has been a leader before, is more like some of what is in this book may turn around our mercenaries and scare them of what is to come, but what is worthy knowledge that everybody should be aware of for what is to come.
And was it something it was guarding something? Or what was that?
What was guarding the entrance was not a dragon. It was something else. Is basically what the end was, right, Graham?
Yeah. It would have also specified there were other things there. That there are more enemies and, all around, but specifically that entrance had something akin to a dragon. That was not a dragon. So
At the very least, this should be shared with Garok and Verban, don't you think?
I just wanted to share it with you first. You've been to war. I've never been to war. I mean, war. We fought things. I mean, I tried to fight things. But I just want to share it with you so that you could tell me, like, specifically what not to include, or else I'm just going to share all of it, and then, who knows what happens.
Do not. The method that you have gained this information, I do not know how to share that. But some amount of divination. She looks over you. Perhaps that is not so unbelievable now. You have grown much, have you not?
Well, some.
Speak with Verban. Perhaps I have more knowledge of war and many other things than you, but he has studied fighting dragons. This pertains to his skill set.
Okay. And as we continue, the next would be to huddle Garok and Verban and relay maybe not everything that I've read over the span, but like the most pertinent details of what is upcoming. I'm not gonna say anything about Zadar being dead or anything like that.
Okay. So I think you follow. I'm assuming you all follow Kier until Kier kind of reaches a natural stopping point of getting tired.
Yep.
Eventually.
Does she?
That's a good question. Nope. Okay. How many hours are you willing
Nobody says
to go?
anything, Kier will not stop going.
Okay, so my question to the party is, how many hours do you keep following until someone says something?
Like 8, I guess. Like a normal amount.
Okay, so 8 hours in, so that puts you at 3 in the morning?
Sure,
Ish.
I guess.
Okay.
I mean, whenever.
What is time when there
what
is
is
no
time when you're on
sky?
the go? Yeah. Hey, fair. All right. So you continue down the dark tunnels. The way forward past that last kind of room where it split off begins to descend. It is stone stairs after stone stairs, sconces occasionally set, heading further and further down for about maybe an hour with your best approximation, and then it flattens out and widens a bit. There are forges and you enter this room. It is about 30 feet by about 40 feet wide. On the far side, left and right, are forges that have long since cooled. Hammers lay rusted on anvils, long since unused, of ancient dwarven make. To the far north side of the room itself, there is a half-circle opening that's about 20 feet wide, and it looks like minecart rails are kind of carved and set heading down that way. Over the forges themselves, there are like almost traps built into the mountain itself that you cannot see beyond, but you can hear bubbling and gurgling. Besides that, you would have to do some looking around. There are several chests that have long since rotten. There are a few weapon racks that seem to have been set. And on the far side of the room, on the right-hand side, there is a side door that goes into a antechamber.
Garok's gonna call out and basically states, "Hold! We must stay here." There are things I must find.
It's
They
been
don't
a long
acceptable.
enough march. We should sleep anyway.
That as
Suppose
well.
You're correct. We need all our strength for what's to come.
I
Would it-
will aid you, Garok, in assessing our surroundings if others of you can set camp.
Did we leave the mounts with the Sphinx, or did we bring them in?
I
because
assumed
was it
they've been
big
following
enough?
behind and they've kind of been tethered.
Yeah. Okay. So, Kier will kind of, like, with everybody's permission, gather the mounts and is going to speak with animals and some of her influence to try and keep them calm and get them settled and help them rest.
Roll me a animal handling. Flat roll.
18.
18. Alright. It is challenging. Even with speak with animals and the ability to communicate effectively with these animals, the difference between humanoids and beasts is that beasts always kind of seem to have this sense of self-preservation, and these animals are very clearly stressed just from you handling them. This entire trip, I mean, it's a spooky tunnel. They were already a little nervous to go in there, but the further down the tunnel you go, the worse it has become. They are edgy, twitchy. The nostrils on the horses flare and their eyes are erratically darting. You are able to calm them down to a semblance of not, causing harm to themselves or to others or bolting. But it is a tense and uncomfortable situation to kind of settle. Is there anything anyone else would like to do?
Start making camp then.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you described the traps on the forge, are those like vents, or is that something that's?
You could roll an investigation check.
Yeah, I'm not overly familiar with dwarven forges, but hey, we were staying in a dwarven city.
Yeah.
That was a 15 plus investigation plus 2, so 17.
17. You take a moment and take a look at the traps. They are about a foot by a foot cubes, and it looks to you like they line up with the internal reservoir of the forge itself. And I assume, I don't want to presume that this is how you would find out, but I think you probably hold a paw up to it.
Sure. Yeah.
And you feel a heat behind it.
Okay. But there's otherwise no kind of like ventilation. Like if we made a fire, this place is gonna fill with smoke. There's no other ventilation.
I would say there are maybe like small holes that have been drilled for ventilation, but not enough that you would be able to glean anything more than they just kind of funnel out into probably a internal small fire. Yeah, that they probably funnel the excess exhaust into other cave systems.
Mm-hmm. Just point at Brodus. No fires.
Okay, but isn't that part of setting up camp?
Not here. We just need somewhere to sleep. Sleep and we eat cold food.
Okay, well, hey, by the way, I've got this. You've been seeing me read my book, right?
Yes, I have seen you read books. Are you bragging?
No. This book is us in another reality. What it says, and I just want to show him the part about it's a dragon but not a dragon, and the other things at the upcoming entrance. Does this make any sense to you?
A dragon that is not a dragon, and it is... What about the upcoming entrance? That is where it is at?
Where we are heading to right now.
Mm-hmm.
This is what that is.
I mean, there's... Everything that is not a dragon is not a dragon. Does it say anything else? Give descriptions? Say anything about what it does?
No. The writer was very hurried. And...
I mean, what we fought beneath that city was a dragon, but not a dragon.
Do you think what we may encounter down here may be something that is not what we have typically prepared for?
It is very likely, brothers.
Okay. Well, just letting you know so that we aren't surprised.
Well, when you don't know what's coming, you're always going to be surprised. Prepare for the unexpected is a shitty saying that no one should say.
Yep. And he's
Here
gonna...
within earshot of this? Where were
You
they
may
having
or
this
may not be.
conversation?
Depending if you want to be.
Yeah, I leave it up to you.
So like tending with the animals and kind of overhearing this conversation in her studies at the academy, or what little she was taught before her mother was taken away from her. Does she know of any
creatures that are dragons but not dragons besides your typical wyvern or...
Roll me a Arcana check.
I'm assuming that if this is not a dragon, I can't use the preferred enemy or whatever it is.
I will say this.
Favorite enemy.
I will say this. If the two of you are... If you two would like to work together on this to get advantage on the roll, all you have to do is explain to me how you would be helping out. I think knowing a lot of, like, dragons, or a lot about dragons, would give you some insight.
So if Kier has examples of things that might be close, she could then, like, throw them at Verbain. It's like, I'm not sure that falls into dragon category. Close? Probably not. Ooh, that one's good. Sort of thing. Just cross-reference their knowledge.
Sure. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Would you
Kier
like to use a
would
crit?
start-
I will make you the same deal I made Brodus.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
You're trying to get rid of my crits. I'm critting on your face, I'm telling you.
Hey, you know.
But yeah, Kier would be going through and like, it could be Amphisabina, Ambush Drake,
4
the,
legs.
Cackler,
Ooh, that's a fun one.
Chitin,
Mm-mm.
yeah, and we'll just keep going through all
Sure.
of the. But it's to no avail because it's a 2, so that's a 5.
Could be a Dracolich, maybe. I don't know. That's kind of like a dragon, but probably more like an undead. It could be a basilisk. It could be a wide array of things.
Oh wait, with him helping, did I
That
get
was a 2 at
advantage?
advantage?
You do have advantage, yes.
I just rolled single.
Nasty.
Oh, that's better. That's a 16.
16.
Actually, sorry.
Still, hard to narrow it down with just that information of it's a dragon, but it's not a dragon. It's not what it seems.
Probably a cockatrice.
I will say this. No, I'm not. You didn't want to burn a crit. Last chance. If you'd like to burn a crit, I will give you one piece of information. Or a hint. No? Nobody. Wow. Hard audience today.
I will burn a crit.
You will burn a crit.
I'd rather burn
Yes.
my crit on a 6th level chromatic orb. Thank you very much.
Alright, Derek. Here's your hint. Sure were a lot of bones and a lot of scales of dead dragons, weren't there?
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. I will say that when Kier might have suggested Dracolich, that's going to trigger something new for Verban, one of his new cleric abilities. So he'll kind of step away and take some of his bone ash and just kind of, wipe it down his eyes, and he will use Eyes of the Grave, so his eyes kind of get a little cloudy, and he's just going to see if there's any undead within 60 feet of where they are now.
Yeah, there's one.
Where is it?
It is... So, as you look around...
If it's behind total cover,
Okay.
that isn't behind total cover and isn't protected from divination magic, so.
Okay, so it is not behind total cover. I think mechanically it is not. You look around the room as you kind of smear your eyes, and your gaze kind of falls towards the mottled and rotten weapon racks. And you see this flicker. It is like the edge of a candlelight's flicker when a brush of wind hits it. That darkness of a silhouette moving. And it seems to be moving behind one of the walls, but you innately understand how this spell works. And you wouldn't be able to see it through a solid stone like it looks like. But you see this dwarven figure looking around and walking and pacing back and forth as you catch like the silhouette of its back turning.
I will go padding off after that dwarf ghost.
Okay. As you're doing that, what are the rest of you doing? Zadar, Garak, Sinra, Brodus.
When he goes to pad off, I'll just be like, okay, I guess I'll set up the rest of camp myself. Thanks. And just continues to set up camp.
Follow.
Oh. Like the Brodus is probably putting up tents even though they're underground.
Mm-hmm.
I'm following Verban.
All right, Zadar, Sinra, Garak. Where do the three of you
Uh,
go?
Zed's hanging out with the mercenaries.
Okay.
And, just chilling. I guess maybe helping me camp a little bit, like half-assedly.
Okay. You're definitely able to help. I think the dwarves kind of set up a basic perimeter. Two of them go towards each entrance of the room and kind of post up, leaving two to kind of set up camp. One of them pulls out their pack and pulls out a satchel. And they kind of size it up. It looks like it is probably about 2 pounds. And you hear clinking from inside, and they move to the way you came. And they have like their spear over their shoulder. It's like almost like a glaive, and they pull out the bag and they pour caltrops onto the ground and then use their glaive to kind of spread it on the floor. And then they go over to the other side and do the same.
Smart. Yeah.
The other two dwarves have loaded crossbows and they're just, keeping a look down the tunnel.
Actually, I was just looking through all my items that I have. I have so many items because I'm a thief and I bought a lot of things. I'll try to set up like an alarm at one entrance. Well, actually, is that the weight on the left? And then, okay, yeah, never mind. I only have one bell. I will use the bell and the string that I have
All right.
to try and set up an alarm somewhere.
The way you came or the way you're going?
The way we came, I guess.
Okay. I'm not gonna make you roll. This is probably pretty easy for you. It's, tying string, yeah. You're easily able to set that up. Having seen them put the caltrops, easy to avoid. And you can set that up. Sinra, Garak.
Awesome.
Garak's going to ask Sinra to come with him. One, for two things. And the big one's going to be the antechamber. To check that out, as well as there's a lot of just ancient things here. This could be just a site of history that he can use possibly in his own personal research of the curse. Anything else you can just beam off of this.
Okay. Rolling an investigation check. If you're just looking for general history to see what you can find, and then I'll have a history check depending on what you locate.
8.
8.
Good old 8.
Good old
Can I be giving him advantage because I'm also proficient in investigation and history?
Sure.
Seven. Good old 8 overall.
Okay.
Why am I not the one rolling?
Do
this?
I want to make you
I
a
don't
deal? Let's see. 3 crits. And I will... Let's see how I want to do this. 3 crits and I will... No, you're not gonna get a deal. No deals.
Hmm.
Hey, you pick up a hammer. It is still worn. The edges of it are finely crafted of dwarven metals. This alloy combination, unseen in ages. The great dwarven craftsmen of old. This was surely something they had made. You see dwarven runes emblazoned and carved into the mallet itself. The hilt is this onyx black, lightly wrapped. It doesn't look like the wrapping is leather. It is something that has been cured and has withstood the age of time, and there is a slight warmth to the hammer as you kind of pick it up.
Can I place the age of this thing as someone who has met with dwarven royalty before and perhaps heard some of their tales of old and
You don't want to
researched
just
and such?
like ask all these dwarves that are here? There's so many.
That'd be too easy. Yeah, so roll me a history check.
Mm-hmm. That will be a 16 plus 6 for 22.
This is far older than you. It is, looking at the runes, I will give you this. It looks like the runes and that subtle heat that Garak is kind of picking up. This was probably made to withstand a lot of heat, and may have been imbued with minor magics to not melt the alloy itself as it was colliding with, the hottest of fires, perhaps, pulled directly from the plane of fire, perhaps lava, perhaps, coals. You have no knowledge of, the metallurgy process of the ancient dwarves, but it does seem that this thing was made for a specific purpose of crafting. Looking at the chute, and from what Verban has kind of picked up, makes sense it would be here. It's kind of been set on an anvil.
This is of truly ancient make. We should perhaps bring it with us as proof of this location.
Agreed. The historians back at the caverns would like to know about this. I see nothing else here. This is disappointing.
To the antechamber, then.
Yes.
Alright. Verban, you head towards this figure. Kier following. I think we need a music change. How about that? How about that? And you see this figure. They are thin, gaunt, and they are pacing as you approach these long, moldered and rotten and far destroyed, cave-ins of weapon racks. And do you walk through the wall?
Yeah, if they're on the other side, then he'll kind of put a paw out and see if
You
it'll go
find
through.
nothing but
If it-
air as your
Then,
paw
yeah.
passes through. You slip through and you enter this room. Within it is several barrels that seem filled to the brim of gold and of platinum. You find several weapons of well-made materials scattered about, and you see a chair. In it are the moldered remains of a figure. They are hunched down, holding a crown. reverently. Their eyes seem to be caught in this gleam of this brilliant opal that is set in the front. Garnets, rubies, sapphires, emeralds, emblazon and encrust this with dwarven runes etched along the side, but not just dwarven. There is Elvish. There are languages you do not recognize and have never even remotely seen. And beside the body, the female dwarf paces back and forth. She stops every now and then and looks at the body in the chair. And you see this wistful look appear on their face. And they seem almost in shock. And then they begin to pace again. Their body trailing wisps of smoke and embers and almost mist.
So, keeping as much distance as he can from all of the material wealth, maybe about 10 feet away from this spectral figure, he's going to kneel down and in Dwarvish, hello there, are you okay?
The dwarf stops for a moment, and they're facing away from you at this point. They've kind of like walked away from the chair, and their head kind of curls back unnaturally, and their body seems to catch up with it a few seconds later. Oh, you can see me.
I can. Do you know where you are?
I am right here. She looks to the chair for a second. And there. It's odd, really. Stretched between here and there. Nowhere but everywhere. How very
That
queer.
sounds very confusing.
Who are you?
Where would you like to be? Is there somewhere you're supposed to be right now?
Does Pierce see this spirit, or is Verban just talking to the air?
Just talking to the air.
If Verban, so Kier wasn't being like necessarily quiet or anything or stuffy, right?
No,
Okay.
I like would have came and like stood right beside you.
Yeah, he'll grab like Kier by the arm and just get down on a decent level and just smile. Not crazy smile, but like normal, just like, oh, this is nice to be here kind of smile, and don't touch fucking anything.
In Dwarven, Kier will say back, "Why are you asking if someone needs to be somewhere?"
Oh, this is helpful. Okay. Well, there's we have a guest, a spectral one, who I'm going to see if maybe I can assist in crossing over without losing, or rather taking any type of damage from them.
Oh, a turtle. I have not seen one of them in Oh, hello.
Hello, this is my friend Kier. My name is Verban. What is your name?
My name. It has been so long. My name. Edenia.
Edenia. It is nice to meet you. You seem very tired. Would you like to rest?
No, I cannot rest.
Why
I
is
need
that?
to watch over this. And she looks at the ground, and you see her attention almost kind of get drawn to this object. And she stares. It is probably like 30 seconds of uncomfortable staring, and then she seems to suck her attention back up towards you. The prince will be upset if I do not get it to him. But I was so scared.
You don't have to be scared anymore. There's nothing, literally nothing left to be scared of.
She looks up at the roof. I can feel it pulling.
What is that?
It's so weird. Like a tether guiding me along. No, not a tether. Marionette strings. It wants me to dance to a tune I don't hear, but it's so close. If I go, do you think my bones will follow?
No, we are not the things that we leave behind. But I will see that they are put to rest, if that is something you would like.
Do you know where the prince is?
Do you have more than a title? What is his name?
Title, prince. It's also foggy.
Is he a dwarf?
Yes.
I can assure you that if you would like to pass on, I will ensure that this crown makes it to him or his closest living relative. You do not have to wait around anymore. Your time has come and gone. It is time for you to rest, and there is nothing wrong with that, and you should not feel guilty.
How very kind.
All of this additional wealth here, is this all the prince's as well, or is this yours?
No, not mine. It was crafted here so long ago. Who was it for? I don't remember. It was stored here for the next shipment. We waited for the cart to come back, and it never came back. Then the smoke, and it was hard to breathe. But it wasn't smoke. It was choking and coughing, and everything went dark afterwards. We couldn't see. We couldn't breathe. I sat down in the chair as I heard the rest of them screaming and coughing. And then it was so quiet. Why did no one come for us?
I do not know. And I'm sorry that happened.
So where will I go?
I don't know. No one really does. We have ideas. I hope you go somewhere very nice, and I believe that you will.
Thank you. And she looks to the ground and falls silent and begins to just sway. And then she just begins to resume pacing back and forth.
So he tried to do that last part in common. Even well, I guess Kier spoke Dwarven in the first place, so she would have been able to pick that up. But he'll stand and very cautiously kind of move over to the moldered body and say, "Then yeah, I'm going to take this crown and get it to the prince now, and put you to rest so that you can sleep. Is that okay?"
Oh, hello there.
Hello. Is that all right?
I'm terribly sorry. Have we met?
We have. It is okay.
Funny. I would have thought I would have remembered.
It is okay. You just close your eyes and rest, and that tugging feeling, just go towards it. It is okay. Your task is done. You did well.
She... No, roll a persuasion check.
It's only 12.
Would you like to use a critter advantage?
Yeah, I don't want this ghost punching me. I will actually, yeah, I'll use an advantage.
You also have the 1d6 if you'd like.
I do. So I'm going to use the 1d6 as well, because
Okay.
that... Okay, so that is an 18.
18. She pauses for a moment, and then she looks up. I don't want to go towards that. It is new. New and old. You say you can help me sleep.
I can. Would you like to watch the crown while I do that?
She looks at the crown, and 45 seconds pass, and then she kind of snaps out. Will you put my bones in the forge?
Yes, I will.
I would very like to be made into something.
I will do my best.
Thank you.
And he will, as gently as possible, try to lift the body and just carry it out.
Yeah. No deck save needed.
Mhm.
As you pick up the body, the crown will, unless you are grabbing the crown as well.
If it's like in the lap, then he's just picking it all up at once. But if she has to keep the crown in eyesight, he'll leave that behind on the chair.
Yeah. So she kind of the corpse kind of has like a cloak draped over her. It's like a purple, royal purple that you can probably grab. And as you're carrying her over, the crown kind of settles. The body begins to kind of almost turn into bone dust. By the time you have reached the forge, if that's where you're bringing her, all there is a skull.
Okay.
And just the dust.
Okay.
Definitely understand why my brother liked you.
I learned a lot of this because of your brother. I did not want anybody to pass on without being given some sort of peace, and also learned how to keep some people from passing on, but not much saving heart. He's gonna call over some of the dwarven mercenaries, because I don't think we have anybody who's shown any sort of proficiency in forging whatsoever. So there's a bunch of dwarven mercenaries. He's going to try his luck with them, and he is going to cast ceremony to put her to rest while also trying to make something cool and badass and grave cleric-y out of that skull.
Okay. So you pour the, if you don't mind me dictating, I think that there is a very magically inclined ritual you begin to go about. Almost like pulling, you set the bones in the skull into the empty forge, into the basin. As you call over the other dwarves, they look around the forge for a few seconds, you know, kind of figuring out what the bells and bobs are. One of them pulls on the flue, and a slow trickle of lava begins to fill the basin. But unlike natural lava that, you know, if any of you have occurred or witnessed it, this is almost metallic. It is moldable, yet despite giving off such great heat, and it begins to fill the basin and cover the skull and the bones. Two of the dwarves begin to kind of puff on the bellows as they begin to work it. And Garak, you're still holding the hammer, aren't you? You feel a pull from the hammer to an anvil as this metallic, molten metal begins to funnel out. Verban, with your vision, you see wisps of that smoke and cinder coming off that you saw from the spirit. And you, Garak, you begin to hammer away. Verban, you move to the forge and put your paws on it. And you are not... It's almost like when you have a disassociative episode, where you kind of lose track of self. And you begin to pull from the furnace itself a mold, the very earth shaping into your hands, and you place it onto the anvil as Garak begins to hammer. The thud of the hammer on the anvil is repeated over the course, and you feel words in Dwarvish passing your lips in phrases and songs and psalms that you have never heard. It is archaic and elegant, and the two of you begin to work, and as you finish and you feel the divine spell leave you, there is two items. A gilded helmet that is skull sockets. It's a half skull that seems to be made out of almost that same heated metal, yet does not burn at your touch. And a sickle. It is jagged in its blade. Its blade itself is this bone white, but along the edges, as it looks almost like it's a sawtooth blade, you see almost like these tears of gold dripping to the edges and then vanishing, only to repeatedly do that.
I guess having fully cast Ceremony at that point, he is just going to say a little prayer in Dwarvish, and this was her request, so he'll do his best to recall something about Dwarven burial rituals to add to it with his own little flavor, and then he'll leave the weapon and the helmet just on the anvil. He's not gonna necessarily carry them off at this point or use them, and He'll go over to Brodus, I think, at that point. Brodus, I just had something very weird happen. You might have seen me over at the Forge. Are you familiar with a prince that was connected to this area here? I do not have a name, only a title.
I mean, Graham, can I make a history check for that one? Because I'm sure.
Would Garak know that? He would. I guess he would kind of he'd gather everybody together because hey, he's got news. Okay. Hey, listen up, everybody. Dwarven mercenaries, keep it down. Okay. So, first things first, Kier and I met the ghost. Me a little bit more than Kier. Second of all, that wall is false. Third of all, there is immense amounts of treasure behind it. Don't know if we should take it. It's not like supposed to stay there, but there's like weapons and gold and platinum and stuff. Third of all, are any of you necessarily aware of any princes which would be connected to this particular cavern or area?
Would I be?
Would a 16 help me know? Because I'm sure being part of the Kingdom of Andalin, you would have knowledge of like other royalty in other lands. You may not know every single figure, but maybe at least the head figures.
As royalty from the past, would I know? Okay.
You got this.
Okay. But I may have heard a tale or two. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What does the 21 get me? Would I know which of the lines the royal family is descended from? Okay. Was told that there were 3 sons of the king of Montagtith when it fell. It could be any of the 3. I do not know which one she had a fancy for.
Well, I have a crown for one of them, whichever one it was meant for. If he is dead, then the next survivors. So cool. Okay. Also, the ghost has to be put to rest and made into something. So I have crafted this helmet and this sickle. I do not know. They seem to have properties to them that I am not necessarily familiar with. I was going to sit with them for a little while and see what they did, but I do not lay claim to either of them. I do perhaps suggest that we investigate the wealth, and if not, take it with us now, perhaps as a reward after killing the dragon, because it was not meant to stay here. According to the ghost, she was very nice, very confused.
I would suggest we take it on the way out, as there's no sense in weighing ourselves down on the way in.
There are
Let us
weapons,
at least, yes.
so perhaps even the mercenaries might benefit from these.
Might be able to help us define what we should and shouldn't try to take. If you'll just give me a moment.
And Kier will reach onto her shell and pluck 2 of the flowers off of her shell, and after fiddling with them for a moment, takes the buds out of them, so it's just the petals, and kind of presses them against her eyes, and then lets them fall away, and her eyes will flash this like brilliant blue that the petals of the flowers were. She's casting detect magic.
All right, and are you looking at the 2 items on the anvil, or are you looking at the?
Yeah.
Okay, they are magical.
For start,
They're magical. I know it tells you the one gives off necromancy, and the other one would give off.
For magic
Abjuration.
items doesn't always have to tell you, because
Okay.
they don't always fall into a
Yeah.
school, but
I would say that the helmet gives off necromancy.
Helmet is dark, and she kind of looks quizzically at Verban and Garok, because they were the ones that crafted these 2 items.
Sinra, you would also see this.
Have the 2 of you been forging weapons and armor for a long time, or
first time.
the helmet is dark magic. Not
Yeah.
I can tell you exactly what they do if you give me some time with them.
That would be lovely. I never want to be cursed by something, especially not something I made. That feels very bad.
I think the word you meant was ironic.
What you think? It's
Nothing.
like rain on your wedding day.
Depends on the specific juxtaposition, but possibly. Give
That
me
good
give me
advice
just,
you just can't take.
yeah. Do
Show
you mind
me-
if I touch them?
Show me this hidden chamber while she investigates these.
Nah. And while Kier checks out the forged weapons, Verban will walk Sinra, and actually whoever else wants, back into the hidden chamber.
As you're
As you're actually walking away, Bros kind of wants to go. Do we want to let everybody know about the hidden chamber right now, or like, should this be like after we go fight a dragon thing, not a
I would
wake
say
up and
at this point, the 2 dwarves that were working the forge and saw Verban carrying the body out from the wall have already clocked this thing. Like, they know there's a false
actually
wall.
been very discreet about what we've been doing either.
Rhoda, should we slay this dragon? These dwarves
What-
have equal claim.
right? But what about like
They have joined our
Going-
party. Sometimes I can't tell the difference between you and them. Like from behind, it's
I'm-
like, oh, is that
I'm-
Rhoda's? Oh
I'm-
no.
well, you just gotta look for the short beard. But
It has been agreed that they have rights to anything that we find.
I get that. I just don't want them to have rights to it and
They
disappear
already
before we
have
face
rights.
the dragon. I don't
Why would
wanna-
they do this?
They
Rhoda,
don't
I think I have
actually
shown that
for-
if someone tries to run away, I shoot them in the back of my head.
I really don't think that'll be necessary, because for them to invoke the contract rights in which they would hold claim to anything we find, they would have to complete the contract first.
Yes, they would be best dead.
A businessman such as what I believe you're trying to be
should no contract litigation.
I
like that.
no. I get that, but some people try to get around contracts. I'm not saying, I know many of those people. I'm just saying,
You've
maybe
broken
we should be
contracts before, Brodus.
Thomri
right.
coughs like.
Right.
Brodus, I understand that we are underground and you are a dwarf, but perhaps you should put down the shovel. You are done digging yourself a hole. We should go find you a new weapon, perhaps.
Nope. I'm just gonna. And he just sits and breaks open the book again. Just at this point, doesn't care.
All right. I think Philly, Millie, Bori, Tori, Gawain, and Lurbeline will go into there. I think each of them comes out with like a short sword or like an axe from the room. Sinra, as you are standing there, all of the weapons seem to be magical. It seems to be minor enchantments.
I did want to say, like as soon like they turn around, like by the time they got to the room, like as soon as he heard that there was a room full of treasure and that it might be okay to take it, Zed just kind of slipped past and just ignored the rest of this conversation.
Feel free.
And then by the time they get there, Zed's like already like he's like holding a jeweled goblet and he's got like a bunch of rings on and a crown.
Speaking like a coin angel.
We
Yeah,
never
absolutely.
saw him again.
Uh,
I think during this time, Kier has pulled out a rather long piece of parchment and has picked off like a more rigid stem from the back of her shell and has pulled out some ink and will dip the ink in the quill and in the quill and see kind of magic dance along the spine of this vine that she's pulled out, and she like closes her eyes and touches the crown first and begins writing, and she's going to cast Identify as a ritual, so it'll take 20 minutes for both of them to be done, and then after that we'll spend an additional hour. Anybody that wants to bring any of the items to her, she's scrolling out what they are.
Grand is just like armfuls of weapons.
who's carrying the
Isn't that
crown?
cool? I think Verban probably put the crown into his bag
Okay. Thank you.
since he took responsibility for it.
Noted. All right, Zadar. How many rings is enough rings? 8.
Well, I only had one, so I have 9 more fingers.
Okay. You get 9 rings.
Nice.
Well, unless Vinny, it needs to be asked: is Zadar polydactyl?
Polydactyl.
Does he have 6 fingers on each?
Oh no, he does not.
But yeah. If you would like to, customize, there's lots of jewelry. Like, if you want to just pick and choose what you feel would be what you would choose best, I leave that up to you.
I mean, blue stuff's on theme, I guess.
Okay, like a cobalt or a sapphire.
Sapphire, yeah, whatever, yeah.
You come out with 9 sapphire rings that are all silver and platinum banded,
Nice.
and probably some gold and a goblet.
Yeah, a goblet. Anyway, I mean, obviously, yeah, he would have stashed coins.
All right, so Cinera, all of the weapons do come off as minor enchantment magical. 2 of Zadar's rings seem to have enchantments, whether Zadar knows or not. That's up to you, if you tell him. And
I will inform him.
What kind of magic?
It is light enchantments. You should take these to Kier. She is currently identifying.
Yeah. And he just kind of wanders off.
all right, Kira, which of the 2 items are you identifying first?
I started with the skull and then
Okay.
the sickle.
It is called the Gaze of the Dead. It allows you to cast Speak with Dead once per day. And when taking necrotic damage, you may use your reaction to half the necrotic damage once per day. The sickle is called Tears of Gold. It is a +2 sickle. On hit, your enemy must make a DC 17 Constitution saving throw. If they fail, all strength-based saves and attacks are made with disadvantage. And they can retake the save at the end of their next turn. The dwarf mercenaries will bring their weapons to you. They are all +1 weaponry.
That's the vibe we're getting. Oh, sorry.
I don't really know any of you very well. But this helmet, do any of you like, well, maybe Verban, you seem to like the dead. This will let you speak with them once in a while. If you want that, and then this sickle it's quite powerful actually. It will sap the strength from your foes for a short time if you hit them with it. I don't know if anybody prefers. I don't see any of you carrying sickles right now, but
Carol, is that perhaps something you would be interested in?
It's not a normal weapon of mine, but I will keep it of use. And you also see he's just stacked with just bone weapons.
Kier, it's not the worst thing perhaps for even you to have.
no, I'm quite fine. Thank you.
Okay.
My hands are already full in combat. You will see.
I mean, I could hold on to it. I don't know how to use it.
You don't know how to use a simple weapon?
Well, I've got my sword.
Take
Doesn't
the
really
sharp
look like he
edge
knows
and
how
you
to use
slice
any
with
weapons.
Yeah.
Because the sickle world has, like, farmers use them.
it. Yes, you hold like
Do you
this
think I come from a farm?
and slice.
Okay.
It is
Okay.
not complicated.
Okay. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Oh, no, you're grabbing it by the blade. Here.
Why are you
grab
grabbing
it
by
by
the blade?
handle.
It's the rated brothers.
Please be careful. Well,
If all these weapons seem to be +1s, can I find any in there that would be thrown? Like javelins or spears?
Yeah, I would say that you probably find like 1 or 2 +1 javelins that have kind of like golden spear points.
Okay.
Graham, side notice, is there a specific name for the item, or is it custom item and I just
Custom item,
add
Tears
the-
of Gold.
Okay.
And then it is a DC 17 con save. And
Okay.
they suffer disadvantage at attacks and strength saving throws. Until they save at the end of the
Do you have an item for that, or should we make one?
Make it. I'm too lazy.
And
I write it down and then I never put it into D&D Beyond.
what was the helm?
It was the Gaze of the Dead.
Gaze of the Dead.
It
of the Dead.
gives
And
you,
use it.
you can use your reaction when attuned to it. Both of them do require attunement. You can use your reaction to half necrotic damage when you take it. And you can use Speak with Dead once per day.
It's
like to get
And then
an early
Verban
start
would basically
tomorrow.
look for any short swords or spears or anything like that.
Yeah.
He's just trying to, if he can +1 his regular weapons.
Yeah, you can find a +1 short sword.
Well, I personally, I'd like to get as early as a start as I can, so I'm going to go rest now. Using that much magic is quite draining, but still have a mission ahead of us, so I will say goodnight, but I will leave you with another joke just for you, Brodus. If you'd like.
Yes. Yeah.
What do you call a magician that's incredibly good with cooking?
I don't know.
Sorcerer. And she will kind of bow her head and then walk off back to the animals, and she's actually going to bed down and sleep with the mounts.
Yep. Thank you, Kier. Thank you.
Would I be able to find 2 just regular platinum bands amongst all the
Yeah,
rest? Okay.
easy enough to find.
Grok still is curious about the antechamber.
Oh, yeah.
So he just kind of walked off, and
Yeah, sorry about that.
as everyone else is just filling around with whatever their shiny crap is, and he just goes off, not interested at all. It just takes the actual hammer itself and just stuffs it in his bag in some empty spot, and just keeps going on to the antechamber.
Sure. Garak, you enter the antechamber. Within it are beds, bunks. There are various ores set in these minecarts that seem to have been taken off of the railing further on. You begin to make your way, like a little bit more intense than I thought it was going to, around the room. And you are hit by the scent of a smell you know very well. The scent of bone. Inside the third of 7 minecarts, it is filled to the brim with bone dust. Hundreds of bodies would have had to have been burned or deteriorated to fill this. These are also like the size of dumpsters. I should probably be specific. Real world size, they are about that. The next one, it is the same. The next one. The next one. This wasn't just a forge. This is a crematorium. Roll me a medicine check, if you will.
$19.
19. You feel the taint of necrotic energy on each bit of bone. As if the cause of death was near instantaneous. For each one of these, it still holds the taint on the soul that has long since fled. These were all killed the same way. Hundreds. And they are all most likely dwarves.
Would he have any recollection on what kind of necromancy's origin this may have come from?
Sure. Give me a history check at advantage.
Oh boy. 13.
13. No idea. Necromancy could be anything. Alternatively, these could have been bodies that were stacked and then deteriorated over time. But their cause of death was all the same as what you can kind of identify. Judging from the ritual you spotted and partook in earlier, it's entirely possible that the dwarves of old were using the souls and the very essence of their fallen to make weapons.
So I can gauge probably
Alternatively, it
gauge
could also... Oh, sorry. After you.
possibly a recycling of life and death.
Yeah. Alternatively, it could also have been... This location could have been funneling bodies because they had the means of, the lava to get rid of bodies faster. Also a possibility. And these just happen to be the remnants of the ones they didn't get to before whatever killed the rest of the people in here happened.
He will step out of the chamber itself, kind of flag down Sinra, kind of giving a subtle keep quiet pat of his tail.
She will slink over, clink, 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 with her plate armor,
Right.
very quietly.
He first stops her short of the door. Says, "There's a lot going on inside this room. The others do not need to know about this." Death, basically. Long gone death. But there's magic in here too.
Can I see any of that magic?
On the forges, there are trace amounts of magic. On the hammers, there are the, minor dwemmers to ignore heat. If you are looking in the antechamber,
Yeah, I think that's
the
what we're talking about.
bones do not hold any innate magic, except for wisps of necrotic energy from whatever killed them. So
Divine sense.
I guess
Are
if-
they undead?
No, it is not undead. But good try. That would have been really clever. They are not undead at this moment that you are aware of. You feel 99% comfortable that those things are not animated. It is just bone dust and age, and then the faintest trickle of necrotic magic off of them.
She will carefully pad along in the room then, if they're not sensing any undead.
All right. So I think we're gonna take a break.
Kind of investigate.
Yeah. There's not a lot more to the room. The 4 dwarven guards are taking first watch over the 2 entrances. The weapon rack is moldered. There's nothing really of use there. There are some more hammers, and then whatever you want to take from the storage room. But outside of that, there's not a lot of note. At this point, it's getting pretty late.
Does you said there's a tunnel that goes further?
Yeah. So there's a half circle carved out that's about 20 feet wide, and it has a rail system. Like a minecart rail system that goes further into the darkness.
Perhaps that is where we must go. It's not the dwarves of Mondactite that were sent out of their tunnels further up. Tales
risky.
lead us to believe the danger lies below.
Risky either way we go, but might be able to bring more clues.
It is late. You need to sleep too. You are not dead yet. Come.
Kind of scoffs at that word and just obeys.
All right. So who is taking the first, second, third, and fourth watch?
I would like to watch with Furban. Whatever
Okay.
Furban's up.
Which watch would you two like?
Let's say third.
Third. Okay. Anyone want first watch?
I don't sleep, so I can take anything.
Yeah, but do people trust Brodus to watch alone? Okay,
Every
so
watch, it's like, why is Brodus here?
Brodus just doesn't blink, just. So Garak and Brodus for first watch, Verban and Sinra for third watch. The dwarf mercenaries are going to take second watch, and then they will put 2 people on fourth watch as well. On one side, you'll have to guard the other side yourself.
Said we'll do it.
Okay, Zed.
Last watch. Dibs.
Last watch.
I got dibs.
All right, you got dibs. All right, so we are going to take a quick 10-minute break, and then we are going to resume. How's that sound?
Good.
Oh yes.
So, everybody, I hope you get some water, grab a snack, stretch a little bit, and we'll be right back. So, don't go anywhere. I plan on torturing these players a lot more. We'll see you soon in 10 minutes.
We're gonna restart that countdown.
Nope, we aren't. We're live.
Oh, perfect. Perfect timing.
Don't give a shard.
Then I took a shard on her chest. Wait.
Hold on, you made it weird.
Yeah. It wasn't that shard.
There's
L.
always one.
Oh, there was the line. We crossed it. Oh no.
Well, so last we left off, our party was settling down for the night in the caves, in the tunnels, and I believe the dwarves are taking first watch. Yes. No, Sinra and Verban.
Second.
Brodus.
You're third, Brodus.
Me.
And
Brodus and
Garak are
Garak.
first. You are third. Dwarves are second. Zadara's fourth.
Mm-hmm.
A partridge in a pear tree.
All right. So let's get some music going, and I remember writing this music down, so I don't really know which. Yeah, sure. Okay. It's kind of low-key. So night settles for your party. You all roll your bedrolls up and begin to fall into sleep. For Ban, Sinra, the two of you elect to take... No, not you. Brodus and Garak take first watch.
Do we?
I don't know. We'll wing it. Is there anything the two of you would like to talk about while you are taking watch? Or anything specific you would like to do?
You know, Brodus is still...
Reading your book?
No. Brodus is around Garak, still kind of like a little touch and go here, because it's like, well, he was not happy about Brodus going with Sinra into bad places.
So, Halfbeard, question for you.
Still Brodus.
Yes, Halfbeard, question for you.
Yep. Uh-huh.
What happened to Starlight's eyes?
That was,
You were with her.
it was, we went to a fireworks show, and, you know, it's just a side effect.
Don't play coy with me.
You already know what happened.
Do I? Enlighten me. We
We
have
went,
all night.
we went to go see, you know, the scary man through the mirror.
Oh, I knew it. Why else would she go?
Well, she was looking for answers, and, well, I was looking for a further purpose.
Care to tell?
He's just gonna toss his book towards the feet of Garak and just be like, this is what I gathered. It is another timeline of us and what has happened and how the world comes to an end. I stepped through a door. The world was kind of decimated. I went to a church, and this book was there, and I traded my own blank book for it, hoping to find any answers. Starlight, or Sinra, or, you know, however you like to address her. She
Seems
went
the
through,
names matches better nowadays.
True. Went through her own door. Had a similar but different experience to my own. gathered some additional information of what is transpiring. What I've been able to relay to her through countless hours of reading this book and a little bit to Verban because of his knowledge of dragons is what we are coming up on is a dragon, but not a dragon. And, you know, Kieran and Verban were trying to come up with what it might be. They threw a few things out there, but there's a lot down there. And I don't know if it's exactly what we prepared for. But similar events have happened in that other timeline to now. Some events did not happen the same, but, you know, similar events have happened. But would you have rather her gone through that mirror alone or go through with one of us?
I will say that if I went through there, I would not have come out without its head on a stake.
Yeah, but that's where you and I differ. You're bigger than me. I don't think I could take this thing on. I'm not gonna lie. I'm angry at it. I have spent some time angry. I actually yelled directly at it. I was mad after the death of Ning, but in reality, you know, my fear of it has gone down. Just because, you know, if I'm not going to be the one to solve its problem, it's going to blink me out of existence. But, you know, if we are on the path and doing as best as we can, well, why would it stop us?
What's the end goal for you then? Do you
Well,
still follow this being till the end, until it blinks you out of existence, or what's the plan?
Do what it takes to prevent the calamity that I saw from happening and then move on.
You see Grok kind of get a little quiet, pondering some things. He doesn't regard the book at all. He just ignores it completely. And he looks up again and kind of just takes his tongue and just licks the inside of his bone. You can see it inside the skull that he has. You just see it just wriggle up in there, just tasting something. And he just looks at you again and what of the others then? What do you think?
Well, in the other realities, not everyone has made it, but things haven't resolved in our reality. I don't know.
If death comes, let it then. I've already seen it once.
Yep. And, that's why I've been diligently trying to get us to, or at least understand what is to come, to hopefully, mitigate death as much as possible.
Death is funny like that. Some people try to cheat it, find clues. Ultimately, null will be the end of all who will find their death. Or I will.
Well, I wouldn't say cheat death. I would just say, get beyond death for right now. Do something before it causes more death.
We shall have to see.
Mm-hmm. And with you not reaching for the book, he's going to go back, pick it up, sit back down, and crack it open again.
Can I get a perception roll from both of you?
15.
14.
14. So, you two keep careful watch over your companions, your friends, and the two doors that lead to where you are bedding down. During the course of your watch, nothing happens to trigger the alarms. The caltrops are in place. Zadar's bell remains. And your watch comes to an end. Alright, second watch is the dwarves.
Oh boy. That
All right.
face.
Alright. During the course of second watch, 4 of the dwarves set up. Philly and Millie, Bori and Tori, the 2 brothers and the 2 sisters on opposite hallways. Philly and Millie, for the first part of their watch, practice some of the prayers that Sinra has been talking to them and teaching them over the course of your trip. They drag their bags to form almost like a seat as they kind of sit on their travel packs with crossbows leveled down the hallway. Bori and Tori guard the exit with the rail system. Their watch comes to an end, as none of them relay anything to you. For third watch, Philly will tap Sinra. Well, howdy there, it's your watch.
I'm rising. She starts pushing herself up and slowly donning her armor again.
She will then move over to Verban. Tap Verban. It's your watch. Good luck.
Hey, thank you.
Nothing to report down that hallway? Oh, ain't heard nothing from Bori and Tori, so should be all good. Have a good night.
Just get rest. You will need it.
Sure enough. Well, have a good one. And she kind of goes back to her bedroll, rolls over, falls asleep, and the other three dwarfs follow in suit.
Verban.
In
Here. Yes. Can we speak? And she's going to give Brodus a side eye, like confused why he's awake.
I'm just reading.
Okay. Sinra's gonna just step a few feet that way.
Brutus, perhaps you should get some rest. Stop reading your book. It's bad on your eyes.
I'm good.
Okay.
Slow down tomorrow. I will not carry you.
I can assure you, you will not have to.
I will carry you and it will be adorable and you will be very embarrassed.
I can assure you that will not have to happen either.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes, we can talk.
I understand that you have put much time and effort into researching these things. You know more about them than I. I know not specific tactics against dragons. I have never fought one. I've only heard tales, but I had it. There is something that my mate would do before difficult battles such as this. He was a great warrior of our people. I was wondering if you could provide me some aid.
Yes, Sinra, I would be happy to help you with whatever I am able to. Information, but what
No,
is
it
this
is
thing?
something more tangible. The great warriors of our people, who have taken oaths, such as I have, would often share the troubles between them during battle. A sort of ward of protection. I ask you if this is something you would be willing to do. If only because I think the others, if they were to take the swipe of a dragon, would fall like
Sinra.
flies.
It is no secret that someone who looks like you and someone who looks like me not having knives at their throat is a strange sight. I know that our people don't have the best past, but you are my friend, and if there is something that I can do to help you in this fight, you know I am by your side.
It is my intention to be between it and many of you. And that I will not falter, but it is daunting.
I understand. I will do this thing and I will make sure that you do not fall.
Thank you.
And I'll just hold out a paw.
And she will place one of the platinum bands in his paw. I will enact the magic when it is time. Thank you, Furban.
It is, as always, an honor to fight with you.
She will clasp his shoulder and give him a nod. And then, like, gives Brodus another side eye. Like, what the fuck is he doing over there? Yeah, but he
Mom
was
and Dad
like,
are having a serious talk, and you go to your room to read, please.
but he was away for first watch. Why is he still up?
No,
Oh,
I've literally been reading every night.
okay. For the watch or for the... Okay. Uh-huh.
Mine is a 26.
That's interesting. Mine's a 0. Her eyes narrow.
My favorite sitcom. That's Brodus. Maybe he is part elf now. Yeah, I have heard that they only need to like trans sort of, or
Maybe he is changed indeed.
I mean, you have a paladin sense. You would have picked something obvious. I can detect undead now, and he is not one of them. I think he is just weird.
You know
There's
what?
always
She's-
something new about Brodus.
She's
You remember
not
when we found him naked in the desert just wandering?
That was something. She's not afraid of nothing. She's gonna walk directly up to Brodus and like look down at him and then lean down and take like a big sniff. Does he smell the same?
I'll tell you right now, Bros does not smell the same because normally in town, Brodus bathes. Brodus has not bathed in a while.
What has happened to you? What have you done?
I haven't bathed in a bit.
Brodus, I knew, would have bathed.
Right, but we're in the cavern.
Are you incapable? And she will swash her claw up and cast prestidigitation on him.
Thanks.
Are you not a self-cleaning animal? And Verbatim just like lick up his entire arm. Do you not self-groom?
No.
You have so much fur.
Not the same.
Not as much as most dwarves.
Yeah. Guys, it's fine. It's fine.
She'll like give you a once over, and her tail kind of flicks before she's going to turn and head to where Philly and Millie, right?
Yep.
Yeah, where they had been.
Okay, so the way you came, leaving Verban towards the big scary place you have not been. I would like a perception check from both of you, please. If you'd be so kind. Brodus, I mean, you're reading all night. If you would like to make, you know what? I'll give you the same option. You can, no. You can get rid of how many crits do you have on the board? 4?
4.
If you give me all 4 crits, I will answer 3 questions that are yes or no correctly. This is the last time I will offer this.
No, because I know that I'm going to do 0 in battle. And I need to do slightly more than 0.
And, 0 times 0 is still 0.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right. Perception checks.
It's an 18 for me.
18.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's based on sight. I get advantage on
Yes.
sight based. Okay.
And you have dark vision, so yeah.
Yeah.
And was that with advantage?
Mine was. Yeah.
Okay. And Sinra.
0.
Another 0? Okay.
Wow.
What's your
This
modifier?
is different dice. -1.
That one,
Jeez.
-1. You see absolutely nothing. So Sinra, on your end, nothing seemingly happens. You do not hear, you do not see anything. The darkness beyond your vision swirls and creeps. You can imagine a billion different outcomes in which enemies come pouring through that door, through that hallway towards you. Yet none of them come. Verban, how far would you range outside of the room during your watch?
Where is this going? Is this going down the?
Yeah, near the railing, or the railway.
Yeah, he would probably go 50 feet, probably tops.
Okay.
Just try to expand the dark vision a little bit more.
Sure. You avoid the caltrops. I'm assuming the dwarves told you, hey, we put caltrops and there's a bell. Is that up?
Over the bell.
You head out of the kind of comfort zone a little bit, heading into the darkness as the tunnel kind of swallows you up, obscuring you from most of your companions that don't have dark vision. You see the railway stretching on down this tunnel. Towards the end of your vision, you see the mountain seems to open up. You see railways upon railways intersecting, crossing, heading down, up, left, right, all suspended. They look as pristine as they can, given the circumstance of misuse and, neglect. However, out of the corner of your eye, as you're looking at one of the mine carts that's been caught and suspended, or maybe hit a break, heading down, this is almost 100 feet down below you. And there's kind of like a sheer drop from where you are, and then like a not rickety, but like a wooden platform that the railing continues on, that if you are to continue this way, you would have to travel on. Down below you, you swear out of the corner of your eye, you see something move. It is big, but it is not coming at you.
He is dumb enough to do this. He'll take a torch out of his pack
Okay.
and he will light it with his tinderbox. What's up? Basic explorer's kit. And he will light that torch and drop it down to see what's moving down there.
Sure. You drop the torch. The bright orange cascading as it somersaults down. It bounces off one of the wooden platforms and then spirals down even further, illuminating the wall closest to you. That is the sheer cliffside. And its radius, I think it's a radius of what, 20 feet?
I love D&D Beyond. Yeah, 20-foot, bright light, 20-foot radius, dim light, an additional 20.
Okay. As it reaches towards the bottom, you see several things. The first, you see bones upon bones upon bones resting as your torch lands with a crack. There are millions of bones down there of humanoids forming this pile that seems to expand within the entire 40 feet of you. Or of whatever the torch can see. You see something slither, with scales as black as a night sky without stars. Over the bones, without a sound. It is not big enough to be a dragon, but it is large.
But he can't tell what it is. He just sees like a tail or something.
It's towards like the 40-foot distance of where this thing landed. You can see its tail. It looks serpentine in nature. And as the torch kind of lands, this creature kind of slithers is a good one, slithers into the darkness, away from it.
About how big are we talking? Are we talking, judging from tail? Are we talking
So you
medium,
caught like
large? Huge?
Last maybe 3 feet of its tail.
Yeah.
I would say anywhere from Goliath size, not Goliath, like a Goliath humanoid, or anywhere between that and maybe a giant.
Okay, so large, medium to regular large. Okay, double XL maybe. Okay. If it's avoiding light, that's not a terrible sign. And if it's not openly aggressing towards him, he's not gonna fuck with it. So he will just very carefully, he'll light another torch and then just very carefully make his way back. And he will leave the torch in the tunnel way. And he will actually just go right into the fourth watch then.
Okay.
And just keep a bead on that tunnel.
All right, noted. Third watch comes to an end. Fourth watch begins with Brodus still reading his book, and Verban staying up, and Zadar. You and Gawain and Lurbeline have fourth watch.
Great. Yeah. Ted gets up and puts on his, masquerade mask goggles that look very elvish because they're made out of like leaves and shit. But yeah, he puts them on and just, I don't know, looks for stuff.
Okay.
sits
So are you
around
investigating
and-
stuff, or are you just looking for...
No, just it goes on watch.
Okay.
I don't know what's there to say.
Which tunnel would you like to go and watch with?
The second one.
Okay.
What were the two tunnels again? I'm sorry.
The
There was the
railway
way we came
and the way you
from.
came.
Yeah, the railway. I'll watch the railway.
You would probably notice Verban is up,
Mhm.
and a torch is lit.
I guess I'd ask him, what happened.
I said, yeah. So I went down there, and there is a drop off, and there is something down there that was sizable enough, and black scaled, and slithering was the word that came to mind. So, just don't want it to eat us in our sleep or nothing.
All right.
It did not seem to like light, so hence the torch. That is my explanation.
If you think it's a sound enough deterrent, then who am I to argue?
It's a light deterrent, Zed. I'm not making any sound.
That will just pat Verban on the shoulder and just nod.
I am a good boy.
Great. I'm sure there's plenty of things that live down here and very few of them are used to seeing any light. So that doesn't sound that odd to me.
You want to go check it out?
It sounds like you already did.
I know. I just like hanging out with you.
All right. Well, sure. Let's check it out again. Maybe I'll recognize it.
Good idea. Very smart as that.
So we go do that.
Sure. So the railway comes to like that cliff face, and then you have the wooden walkway that continues the railing on.
Mm-hmm.
It's maybe like 7 feet wide.
Mm-hmm.
As far as you can see, you don't see a cart blocking your way, which is nice. So you could
Yeah.
walk on the railing if you wanted,
Oh no, I'm good.
or you could try to climb down if you had a rope, or you're just trying to peek down, get your peepers.
I was just gonna look down there, see what I can see.
Sure.
Is there
What's
anything
your
easy?
dark vision?
60 feet
60 feet.
because of the goggles. Yeah.
Yeah. You could probably see the faint embers of the torch. Roll me a perception check.
Sure. 20.
Total?
Yeah.
Would you like
It's
to...
also my passive. So
all right. So you see this creature a little bit. You see the tail. It is more obscured by the darkness now that the embers have kind of died out and the torch has kind of not found anything to ignite.
mhm.
And you swear you could have seen like a humanoid hand.
Okay. Humanoid hand. I mean, does anything that I could get a glimpse of jog my memory of a thing that I've heard of? Or...
You know what? For a crit, I will give you a hint.
Sure, take a crit.
Oh,
I'll
thank
do
you.
it. You're welcome.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm going to put that in the bag. So, few things come to mind. It could be a Lamia, could be a Yuanti, it could be a Medusa, male or female. It could be some mutagenic creature that no one has ever seen before.
Well, that's a bad hint.
Could be a Pegasus. Could be a
If I ever give you a Pegasus, it's gonna be a Pegagoose, and it's just gonna be a Pegasus body and a goose head.
How far down is this thing?
About 120
happening?
feet.
120 feet.
Maybe a little bit more.
Okay. 120. I have a lot of rope, like a unreasonable amount of rope right now. So I'm gonna. I'm just. What is it? I have 5 of these. I have a 250 feet of rope. So I'm gonna be like, Raban, hold on to this rope, and just lower me down until I tell you to stop.
I love how terrible of an idea this is.
Yeah.
Do you want me to wake up anybody else?
Testing.
No, it's fine. I'll make a lot of noise. I'll scream really loud if something happens.
I'm sure you will.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or actually, here, and he'll pull out a whistle and be like, "Just keep this in your mouth, and if something goes wrong, just blow on it."
Okay.
Great. And so he's going to give Raban to lower him down about 90 feet. So he's 30 feet away. Is that cool? Does anything happen before I do the next thing? Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Mhm. He'll call in Draconic, like, "Hey, you speak a language?"
It comes to me.
Great. I'm gonna. Vinny, I did not understand that. Oh. Did it respond in common or draconic or? Okay. I would continue in draconic, I guess. I'd be like, yeah, but not much closer. Do you have a name? I guess I would ask. Or what was the X we went with? Have you got a name? Is that what we did?
We have many names.
Roy, what's one of them?
Cruncher.
Not sure I like that very much.
What's your top 5 then?
Oh, Storm of Limbs? What did you just say again? Feaster of Limbs. Okay. What did Verban say?
I said, what's your top 5?
Feaster of Limbs. Great. You wouldn't happen to be hungry right now, would you? Because that would just be really unfortunate for me.
He's so hungry.
Nah, I'm good then. I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna be like, Zed's going to look down there and hear what that thing just said, and then look up at Verban and say, all right, I'm good to come up now, and then quickly turn around and breathe lightning directly down at this thing.
And Verban will just hand over hand try to pull Zed back up.
And this was the one thing I did not see combat happening in. But okay. Let's get an initiative roll between the three of us. Why not?
That's not how you make friends.
Well, not one for me.
So 19 for me.
I got 13.
Alright, so, Verban, you are the first one up. You hear the crackling in Zidar's throat. That's probably the lead up to this.
Sort of.
Yeah.
His horn usually lights up first.
yeah.
But yeah, that's cool.
Right. Oh no, Zadar is looking horny. And he'll just start pulling.
Alright. So you can pull up to half your movement, I think? For forcible
Gosh,
movement?
I don't know. Or is it a strength thing? I don't know.
I mean, you could roll a strength check if you'd like. We'll say DC 15.
I mean, he's got a +4.
Yeah.
Yeah. A +4 strong boy. Yeah, it's a 15 +4, so 19.
19? Yeah. You can pull. We'll say you can pull him about 20 feet.
Unless we're talking athletics check, in which case that's +8.
No, we're not.
Okay.
All right, Zadar.
Okay. Let's see. So is it possible for me to climb the inside of this thing myself to any degree?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, you're a rogue and a thief. You have what, second story?
Second story work. Yeah, I can. Climbing
Yeah.
doesn't cost me extra movement, so.
Yeah, I
I'm
think you
just
should be
gonna
able to.
climb.
That's not unreasonable.
Okay. How much farther do I have to go up?
So
said-
you went, what, 90 feet?
If I
Down.
got the full 90, then and I was 30 feet away from this thing, then I would have been in range to actually hit it with my lightning.
Yeah, that's what I think you were at.
Okay. So, do you want me to roll for
Sure.
the lightning?
Yeah,
breath?
why not? Why not?
Oops. We'll ignore the sneak damage there, but I got a 23 damage on it. It's got to make a DC 15 dex save.
It does not save.
So yeah, that's basically like a kind of almost like a baby lightning bolt.
A baby lightning
That-
bolt. I love it.
But yeah, so that happened, but that was before my turn, I guess.
That's fair.
Or it could be. I mean, that could be from my turn. Yeah,
I
that's
mean, it
not
could
gonna
be
change what I
happening
do.
simultaneously too.
Okay,
Like you zap
I'll
as
just-
you're being pulled up.
I'll say that was okay. Yeah, as I'm sure. As I'm being pulled up, I'm just baby lightning bolt goes out, and then I mean I start climbing. So how much did I get dragged up? Forgot.
20 feet.
20 feet. So I got 70 feet left. Great. I climb the rest of the way up immediately. I just scramble. I have 40 feet of movement speed, so I take my movement and then I use bonus action to dash and just like he's just like digging his claws into the side of the thing and just flying basically up. He's like flinging himself out of this. I don't know, what is it, like a fucking mine shaft?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That
So-
should not need my help at all. That was very good.
Always
As-
good to have insurance.
Don't leave me.
We need to leave this thing right now.
Did you not make friends? It said don't leave me. I also understand Draconic.
Yes, well, it also said one of its many names was Feaster of Limbs. So, I don't know about you, but I like all of mine. I'm very attached to them. Ha 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 ha.
I do.
Jokes
Did
later.
it specify it was your limbs? Because technically, I have eaten meat. I have seen you eat meat. We have feasted on limbs. Are you being perhaps a little too judgmental of our subterranean friend?
You perhaps being not judgmental enough?
Perhaps. Healthy balance, we leave. You're right.
Would you... This is not the time to be having a full-blown conversation about this. To be riffing on
Should
this
I
subject.
shoot at the thing? Is that what you're saying?
Oh no, we should go back and wake people up.
Oh, okay.
Maybe blow on
That's
that
fine.
whistle.
Oh, yeah, I guess he's been like whistling just a little bit because he hasn't taken it out of his mouth. So every time he talks, it's just a little whistle.
Just a little whistle.
Okay. Let's run.
So, I mean, anyway, I guess it's that thing's turn, right?
Yeah. For its turn. One sec. There we go. For its turn, it dives into the darkness, and you see it heading into the ravine further down. You hear the echoes of its screams reverberating and the sound of bones being moved until you can no longer hear it.
Great. Is that...
Are we running or can we walk? I heard screaming.
brisk walk, at least, I would say.
A jaunty constitutionalities.
So are we still in initiative order? Or... Okay. So we just head back, and I mean Zed's gonna wake people up because there was a. He'll wake people up and say the limb feaster is awake. It's what a terrible thing that happened without us having done anything to make it happen. But we should all be on high alert for the limb feaster to be here. That's what I'm doing. He's just waking everybody up one by one.
Oh, the limb feaster! It was terrible.
Yeah.
Everyone gets woken up and gets in arms. I think probably takes you guys about 20 minutes to break camp, if that's what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, like, so it's the end of the night, right? Like,
Yeah,
people don't have
yeah.
to be asleep anymore, really.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. Yes, everybody. Probably best if we move on to avoid having our limbs be feasted upon.
That is a danger.
They went into a dark hole that we found, and he did not make a friend. Yes, but yes.
Very aptly put. Yes. There
Yes.
was a creature that spoke the draconic tongue and referred to itself as the limb feaster.
There was something else about bones too. It was far away, but I picked up that word.
It's bone cruncher or something.
That-
One who grinds bones in their teeth is the literal translation from draconic to common. So that might just indicate that they have a bad habit. It's not great for their dental health, but I'm sure that's not it at all.
And you said it looked like
It looked like gross. It looked really. He describes it to the best of his ability,
Yeah.
but it's not like perfect like the way you did it, Graham, because you're a wonderful
Oh.
person at DMing. But that just kind of gives a rundown on like the basic.
Yeah, it'd be gross. Is what it boils down to. This thing is like a golem merged with a snake person.
Yeah.
I will
Okay.
say this: none of you have ever heard of any creature like that.
Super weird.
Okay.
It's about time for us to keep moving anyway.
Yes.
Not a,
But-
the dragon, I have no interest in fighting him.
To which way do we keep moving?
Oh, did we have to go down that tunnel that I just?
Oh, I'm
Screwed
so
lightning down?
glad you asked. To go forward, you would need to travel on the rail line, which goes over this ravine.
Oh, well, over.
Yeah, maybe down. I don't know. You can't see that far. It goes on for a while.
Yeah. It'll be fine. We don't have to go into it. We're good.
Yeah, we'll montage it.
Yeah.
What about the mounts?
What about the mounts? That's a great question. What are you going to do with the mounts?
We cannot bring them through a mine shaft.
Would any of our mercenaries like to volunteer to watch the mounts? Maybe like 3 of them.
Sure. Philly and Millie and Ori will stay behind and watch the mounts.
Aren't we not coming back to here though?
Do you think the mounts would stay safe here among themselves?
I mean, not without someone watching them. I can't imagine they would be fine on their own.
They already
Right,
were
even if we
spooked
told them
earlier.
to walk- even if we told them to walk back, that Sphinx would eat them.
And we
Yes, why would we not come back this way?
can we food, water, tie them to something?
I'll say this. If you made a group effort, it will slow your travel, but you could probably force your mounts on this rickety old railway. It's going to be a lot of work, though.
Oh, let's just.
I think Sinra's mount is the only mount that probably could comfortably do this because it's a dragonette. Or
Dragonelle.
Dragonelle, yes.
Yeah. That new thing.
Gosh, what else? What are the other mounts you guys have? You have the War Pig.
We have goats.
Giant lizard.
The Giant Lizard can make it easy because it has
Goats.
climbing speed.
There's a boar, 2 goats, 2 riding horses, a fey elk, and a riding lizard.
Yeah, the elk and the horses could do it feasibly, but would require some work. And it would have some danger to it.
Would the goats be able to do it?
I would say yes, actually. I think that goats can literally stand at like a 2-degree incline.
I'll ride my goat then.
All right.
Okay, are we shoving our mounts into the mine shaft? Is that what's happening?
I mean,
Is that
I'd
what you would
rather
all prefer?
I'd rather do that than leave some of our fighters behind.
I honestly don't really care that much either way.
Here. You are the one who can speak to them. Is this
They don't
something?
want to be here right now. I don't think we'll be able to easily convince them to continue forward.
Who must we leave behind then? In your opinion?
The only thing, and we'll gesture to the two that we had talked about,
Mm-hmm.
the lizard and the dragonelle. The rest of them might make a ways, but likely won't last long. If we can even get them to. Jeffers is not the smartest creature I've ever met.
Would you be able to convince them if we left them food and water to stay here unattended?
I mean, I would assume they would work their way back up the tunnel. But the entrance is closed anyway. They don't really have many options and places to go. If we leave food and water, the instinct will likely keep them near here.
And if they're left here on their own, the aforementioned bone cruncher will. If I were to place a bet, I would say that it will return to this area at some point. So if they had some guards, that would be extremely helpful for them.
Got all the power we can going up against this dragon, trust me. I would rather they be cannon fodder than you.
All right, well, Zed's gonna leave.
Brodus will dig out some edible rations for the mounts and pour a little bit of water and something he can find.
I have a little idea. I'm gonna lead the mounts into the false wall and tie them up in there and leave enough for 2 days of food and water, or my approximation of what I think 2 days of food and water for them would be.
2 days of food and water, and that's for the riding horses?
Yeah, and the elk.
And the elk.
And the goats.
So the goats can make it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the riding horses and the elk.
Yeah.
And the war pig.
And the war pig.
And the war pig.
Yeah, the war pig's not making it across
Wait,
that
we
thing.
didn't eat that thing yet? No.
I was willing to strap Rasher to my back and carry him.
I
but
mean,
I'm
if you'd like to
assuming-
do that, you can try. I'm not going to tell you no.
Yeah, but I'm assuming that a fucking, warthog that I can ride weighs more than 285 pounds, which is my carrying capacity.
Yeah.
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 I mean, I'm trying to think if any of you have an item like Tensor's floating disc. No.
Like the wizard druid, maybe.
Or fly. Hey, you got nothing.
I'm a block and tackle.
Oh, baby.
No. Yeah, I guess you leave those 3 behind. I'm sure Zephyr will be fine. When you all get TPK'd, Zephyr's gonna show up on like a mountaintop, just like majestically, like, ha! You know, that terrible caribou noise?
Yeah, it makes such a
Like,
I'm gonna go like forehead to forehead with Rasher. Rasher, you listen to me. You take care of these other animals here. You make sure that they get food and water. I will be back for you, and don't let anything eat you. That's my job.
Oink.
I love you.
So how many guards are you leaving, if any?
0.
0.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you all continue along the railway. We're going to montage this part because it is monotonous travel. It is perilous, but monotonous. The railways are, mostly wood and iron and have begun to kind of deteriorate over time. There are parts of your travel in which parts of the railway fall away or are wobbly. There are parts where you are obstructed by rail carts that seemingly were stopped. That you are forced to either grab onto the edge and work your way around, or tip off the structure.
Tip.
Tip. However, as you all reach the end of the next day, you do come to a large room with a cavernous opening. The pillars connected to the cavern opening are dwarven make. They are carved into the very mountain. There's like 4 or 5 of them, about 20 feet apart. It's about 100 feet wide. And there's snow falling outside as you look onto this valley of broken structures, rubble, half covered in snow. You see on the far side is another mountain. You kind of can get the approximation that you're between like 3 or 4 mountains. And you're about a mile, maybe 2 miles away from the next mountain, but you can see this emanating darkness and a dwarven gate that has seemingly been smashed. Like half of like this giant stone gate is like lying angled onto the ground. And about halfway between you and there is this small, not small, it's almost like a keep. And in front of it, you see these undead skeletons standing about. There are about 10 or so of them. They are dwarven. You can see, like, the last bits of beard, and they're holding axes and dwarven mail that is moldered and rotten off, revealing parts of their skeletal structure. And you see 2 other creatures with long limbs and long claws dripping ichor standing in front of them, staring unblinkingly at these. And behind those 2 creatures, covered in sheens of gold, silver, bronze, red, black, and green, is this mixture of bone and scale and Dragon Maw as it stands between them, looking over these skeletons. And that's where we're going to end tonight, I think. All right, so everybody, I hope you had a wonderful night. I surely did. I'm going to turn off that music. It's a little scary for me. But I would love to know 3 things from my players. Who are they? Where can we find them? What cool projects are they in? And, you know, I think that's the 3 things.
I'll start. I'm Truck again. You can find me on most social medias by the same name. Drop the name in the doobly-doo. And projects, I'm just really just working on many things at once. I can't really think of one that's going to be anytime soon. Just hopefully. Lots of off games, though. Offline games. I love them. But yeah, just hang out, find me, ask questions. I'll answer them. Off to you, L.
Well, hi, I'm L, and I go by L Street Gaming on everywhere. You can find me on my own Twitch, where I'm currently playing the Rune King, which is a super cool, fun League of Legends based RPG game. You can also find me kicking around the FreeForge Discord, hence the logo on the hat that's right there. We just finished our Toys for Tots charity drive, where we raised over $7,000 in 2 weeks for Toys for Tots. So the rest of management and myself are taking a little break now, but we got lots of cool, fun things coming up. So make sure you go to thefreeforge.com and join our Discord and come hang out and see what we got going on. Derek.
Thanks, Al. Hi, everybody. I am Derek Sword. If you want to find me and more of my projects, best place is Twitter at dsword16. Most of my projects are on hold until the new year because I am planning a big move and a lot of life changes, but all for the good. So yeah, next year, look out for stream shows, more podcasts, all different stuff I have lined up. In the meantime, you can find me here every other Tuesday for Shards of Anarion and every Friday for Gold China Investigation Agency, where I'm joined by Graham and Pharaoh. There I play a swampy bugbear druid rogue named Griaz. And I love monsters. Can't tell. I play a gnoll here, a bugbear there. I am also the co-host of the podcast Monster Crush, which is all about loving monsters and learning about them. So if you love like cryptids and also like monsters from mythology and lore and folklore, check out Monster Crush, where podcasts are found. Talks about like the stories behind monsters and also how fuckable they are. So we talk about smooching monsters a lot. I believe that is it for me. If you do want to find some VODs that are really fun, you should check out the Lady Dames Twitch channel. I was back to back on the past 2 Smutty Saturdays. So speaking of fucking monsters, I read some werewolf smut last Saturday, and before that it was God, my brain just blocks it out. I don't know, some sort of, I think it was a lizard man. I think that's what it was. Yeah. So yeah, check that out. Not on a work computer. Okay. I'll hand it off to Brodus, to Fox.
You know, I do gotta say, it's always hard to follow you up. Like, I have the
Just talk about
toughest
fucking monsters
sponsors.
more.
Yeah, yep, yeah, you'll see me there in like, I don't know, a month. I don't know. No, I'm Fox. You'll find me TTRPG Fox on Twitter. I have a few things that I'll be announcing in next week. Got something new, and other than that, you find me here, and I'll also be playing some more Ruin King because I enjoy it. But other than that, I will pass it off to Pharaoh.
Hello, everyone. I am Pharaoh. I played Sindra Starmain today. Angered a few people. Failed a few checks. Had blast. I You can also find me here on Fridays, as aforementioned, where I play Utaka, a water Genasi cleric rogue, who's currently maybe beating up some innocent people, but it's okay because he doesn't know that. uh, Otherwise, I think most of my projects are offline. You can find me on Twitter at Ferocious. Um, and I look forward to seeing you guys as soon as we can.
And then me, I'm Vinny. I played Zadar. He's a rogue and a dragonborn and all that stuff. And I'm where am I? Where am I? Oh, what year is it? I have a website. It's called scuzz.rip. scuzz.rip, and you can go there and see. The last post I made was like 2 years ago or something, but I wrote some stuff and I put it on that site. And that's where I took Zadar's last dream from. It was actually a dream that I had at one point in my life. So that's, you can find the real one there if you want, but I don't really care if you do or don't. Now I'm done.
Holy crap, Vinny! It's a real site. You can't find me anywhere.
Yeah,
I don't exist.
I know. I was prepared
Jesus.
for that.
July
Like
14th,
actual-
2019 is the last post, by the way.
Yep.
Actual
He
internet
hasn't dreamed
evidence of your
since.
existence.
Yep. I do exist. Yes. Occasionally.
And thanks for tuning in, everybody. It has been an absolute delight to play and make memories with you. My name is Graham, or Graham Crackers. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome to the channel. We here at the channel are all about making memories with friends, because, you know, the world is a crazy place, and we like to make memories with the people we love. You can catch me here every Monday, where I play some sort of multiplayer game, whether it is a MMO or a TTRPG. Usually not a TTRPG, but usually you can find me doing crazy things like that, usually on Guild Wars 2. Outside of that, I DM 2 campaigns. The Shards of Anarion, as you just watched, and Anarion's Rest, both taking place in the same world at the same time, but the parties never interact. Why? Don't ask me. I don't plan these things, they just happen that way. But every Friday you can catch me at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here playing Harrison Nervals, your Tiefling Paladin. And outside of that, that is it for me for once. I have no other projects at the time. But, you know, you can also find me on a variety of places, such as on VRC, if you are so unlucky to stumble upon me when I'm just being the worst. But outside of there, can't find me. You can find me on Twitter at GrahamCrackers1, or you can find me here. But as always, it is an absolute delight to have you all here with us. So without further ado, I'm going to let you go for the night. I hope you stay happy, stay healthy, stay out of trouble, don't cause mischief, level up, and we'll see you next week. Or, you know, we'll see you Friday, or we'll see you in 2 weeks. Either way, we'll see you when we see you, and I don't want you to stress about it. I hope you have a wonderful day, and we will catch you later. So, bye for now, and we'll talk soon.